What have the last 72 hours or so been like for you since Saturday night when you beat FIU?
Yeah, a little bit of a whirlwind, but I mean the game itself was just, I mean, a roller coaster of emotion. We go down early, really early, earlier than I wanted. Like as soon as it happens, like we're seriously starting a final down 1-0, 3 minutes in. So frustrating, but I felt confident. Like that was the difference. Is I know that we have a team that could play and can get back into it, and they felt that. So that is reassuring, and then we did. The guys played, and they played incredibly hard, but with confidence. So that was good. And then it's just been a whirlwind since, and excitement. I mean, the guys are just buzzing. They've done what nobody thought they could do, what hadn't been done before, and so they're excited.
You talked about going down in the third minute, and then they pull one back late, and then you guys are under siege a little bit in the final 10 to 15 minutes there. So for you, you obviously know this team, and you've been able to see through situations like this all year long. Was there any difference in your going through your mind at the end of the match as you're trying to hang on than there was going down first 3 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had gotten back. We had come, to get the 3-1 lead, and so really flying high and having control of the game. Obviously they're pushing, so the game started to get really stretched, and we would kind of pick it and be able to get down the field. We'd kind of go down with maybe a no call, or the ball would turn over. And so then they're keeping everybody up at their end of the field. And so it's just got really stretched and what you would expect in a final, because they've got to push. And so it got a little hectic, but I felt really confident. We defended really well. And while they had the ball and we're kind of dumping some balls in the box, none of it was too threatening until they, the one play they pick up the ball and the guy carries it, kind of the length of the field to score. And it was a good goal on their part. But I felt like that was only the defensive mistake that we had made on the game, really. And so while that swung the momentum a little bit, I didn't feel like we were under, and we were still able to not panic and just see the game out, and the guys did just that.
I know that you had high expectations coming into this year after the major ascent that you made a year ago, and this has been a steady climb, and we'll get to that since you took over this program. But to see it culminate, at what point would you say to this season you said to yourself, all right, we obviously were in a position last year where we thought maybe we could make a run. It ended a little bit earlier than we would have liked. This year, when did you think, I think there's enough pieces, enough experience here where we might be able to put the trophy in the air?
A great question. It's interesting how the game works. I think we started the season off great. We go 3 straight and against good opponents and in different types of games, and we found ways to win those, and we played well and scored goals and kept clean sheets, and then we go to UNF and we're quickly humbled. So sure. It brings you back down a little bit, and NC State against good opponents where we played really well, but then to get into conference play and to pick up the first win on the road in conference, and then to build another, and so it kind of gets back up again. And there was a moment away at Missouri State where we're tied 1-1. We're a little bit under on the road, and Mo picks up the ball and just makes a play to make it 2-1. He scores a fantastic goal. That was one moment on the year where it's like this, we needed that result, and this put us in a position, and then you kind of go through and you get some other results, and then you get humbled a little bit. And it really, the process is great, because then you find out some weaknesses that you have that have been highlighted that you've got to shore up a little bit, and that makes you better for the next game. And I think we've kind of had that steady climb with, a little bit of a step backwards, but then to be able to move forward and be better. And I think that's kind of been us on the year. And I think, man, if we can continue to play our best soccer at this point now, which I think we're doing, it's a great place to be.
Now, I know that in FAU circles and maybe even opponent game plans, Mamadou Diarra and Traore, they're going to be at the top of that. But you guys have been a really balanced attacking side, been really good defensively, but a lot of balance on the attack. But in that final, I mean, I feel like in matches like that, you always need your heartbeat and your face to step up. And I mean, that's just a brilliant, if not the most brilliant Mamadou Diarra performance that you've seen at FAU, I'm sure.
It just special, man. And it took the team to do that, man. We had so many guys that just played out of their mind. And he defended so well against such a tough team, but man, Mo's special. And right? I mean, that's where you find out like how good these players are.
Mm-hmm.
Do they rise to the occasion? Do they shy away from it? Can they not meet that occasion? And he met it and more. I mean, he changed the game. And the big thing about that is he's no surprise. He was on their scouting report. They knew about him. And that's why he's special, right? He still found a way. He scores one with the right, one with the left. He was a handful for them all night. And to your point, what we have, Mo is special, but we've got, 4 guys up front that can all change the game, and they've all been doing it all year. And that then becomes hard. If it's one guy you got to worry about, maybe, but we've got a front 4 that I'd put up against anybody in the country.
To do it against FIU, it was a very bitter disappointment in the first round of this tournament last year when they came to Boca and ended your season. It was a very physical match when you beat them in the regular season in Boca. I know that obviously any championship you win is going to be satisfying. Let me put it a different way. Does it feel like everything came full circle doing it against FIU?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think even after our semifinal game against Tulsa, we're watching Charlotte FIU to see who we're going to play. And we're glad that game went to overtime and tire themselves out and 12 rounds of penalties. But in the end, to find out that it's that we're playing FIU in Charlotte for a championship, like you couldn't draw it up any better, right? So the guys were excited, and we beat them in the regular season, and in a rivalry game, especially in a final, like, it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to be there's so much to it that the guys just rose to the occasion. And it made just the moment that much sweeter, and the way that we did it was great. So yeah, a lot of excitement. The guys certainly didn't shy away from that moment, and it's definitely one to remember.
You go through the celebration on the field, and we've seen the pictures and the post-game interview, post-match interview with Mo, emotional, tearing up, talking about his journey, but also the fans that made the trip to Charlotte that were there, that were supporting. What is the scene like back at the hotel and just the lead up to the next morning coming back to Boca?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are just buzzing. The guys are so excited, and it's something that we've talked about all year. And I think, again, the way that it went, it wasn't like we snuck into the tournament or we stole the championship. We were the regular season champs, and so this is what we've been talking about all year, and this has been steadily building. And we talk about having, if you want to be a champion, you've got to act like a champion and do that over the course of the season. And they've done that. And so then to be able to get the reward is amazing. And I think after the game, man, like there's so many emotions that I was having with, just going back on the first year here is we won 2 games, and how this has progressed and how the program has improved, and the support from the university and from Brian and athletics and from the community and the national brand that FAU has now. Like it's just, there's so much, and the players who have come through here and the players before, and it's way bigger than a one soccer game or one championship or one season. It's this years of finally culminating into this success, which is so exciting for everybody to then be able to revel in.
I've had some fans ask me about it, parallels potentially with softball, another program that has very much been on the championship rise the last couple of years. They've won back-to-back league titles in their sport. But what I tell them is there was at least relatively recent base of success to work off of, and a brand that they were able to refer back to that Jordan's then been able to do a great job of once again using as a stepping stone to even greater heights. the program that you inherited in February of 2017 very much was not that. Not to disrespect what you took over, but I told fans there was a lot of, hey, here's a bag of balls and now do everything in your own vision. The early part of your coaching career here at FAU, how did you stay patient? How did you keep from banging your head into the wall as you're trying to build this thing up?
Man, it's very humbling, right? I came here with the idea of like the overall goal when I first came was to make the conference tournament. We were in Conference USA at the time. We had never made the conference tournament in Conference USA, and that was the goal. Can we be one of the teams that are in to make the conference tournament? And we won 2 games in 17 and we won 2 games in 18 and did not make the tournament. And you have a vision and a plan and belief. But man, when you win 2 games over the course of a year, you doubt, you wonder, like, am I good at this? Can I do this? Is it possible? Can I get guys to still buy into this? So a lot of patience, and then honestly, a lot of belief, have to get a staff that wants to be part of this and to get them to believe in and buy into it, to my wife who supports me and her to like help keep me saying like, no, you can do this. And to then players, you've got to recruit players who are still going to buy into this. Alonzo, one of the brightest players to come out of this program, he was here during that dark time in 18 and could have left, but he stayed in. And so a lot of belief and buy-in from the coaches, the players, the university to continue. Brian came in and helped elevate the program, and the community. We've, a lot of locals have been able to buy into the program and support us. And you just see it incrementally each year, just starting to build. And so a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of belief, and it's been a great turnaround from those dark days.
You took over this program right as the portal was turning into immediate eligibility. It was no longer city year. And then the NIL comes into play and player benefits. So not only have you had to be patient and your staff have to be patient and the players have to be patient with this ascent, you've also had to adjust a little bit to the wide sweeping, impactful changes that college athletics have ended up having over the course of the years. How were you able to make that adjustment and keep the trajectory at a school like FAU in the correct course and with that same momentum that you had at least started to creep towards?
Yeah, it's been big. The portal has been one that we have been affected by. It's hurt us, but we've also extremely benefited from. And I think in 2019, we made our first conference tournament. In 2021, last year in Conference USA, we not only made the tournament, we played in the final. We lost in double overtime. And at the end of that year, we lost a few of our better players to the transfer portal. They felt like maybe they had maxed out what we could do here at FAU. And that was hard. And so we quickly had to find a way, like, how can we turn this into a strength? We're coming off of playing in a final. We've got a lot to offer. We play in a good conference, obviously the location and the school. And so how can we get out ahead of this? And credit to the staff, Tom Harmon in particular. We just dig through the transfer portal and find the guys that maybe would fit into our system, but weren't playing or didn't fit the system that they were in. And a great one of that is Boubacar Traore. He was at Charlotte on a good Charlotte team and wasn't getting minutes. And he comes here and leads the conference in assists in his first year and is an all-conference player. Like, he's one example. And I think we found a number of transfers who, for one reason or another, didn't work out at their previous school and have been great finds for us. And that's been a lot of research and finding the right guy that's playing wise going to fit our system, but then also culturally. And it's easy because we have the location. And so we've also got to sift through that. If guys want to come here just because they can be in Boca, then I don't want you. But if you want to be here for what we're building and can do, then it's a really big benefit and an addition to be able to be here in Boca and do it. So it's been a long path, but certainly we've been able to benefit from that, and credit to Tom for it.
It's just got to be so validating for you because you guys you're one kick away from going to the NCAA tournament back in 2021. And I hate to bring that back to the surface.
Oh, it's part of the story, man. So
it is part of the story. And then you sort of have to regroup things the year after that. And then you're back in a semifinal, and you get dinged by FIU in the first round last year. Like, for you, it's just gotta. I don't know if it's a relief. I don't know if you finally feel like, oh, got past the finish line. I knew this was going to happen. Like, where are you at on all of this, just from a personal coaching ambition perspective?
All of those, right? All of those, a relief. Yeah. Because it's hard to get to a final and have to get back there. And, but it some validation, I know what we're doing is right. And you see these guys that were here that are these young men that are on our team are amazing. I could go on and on about them. And that's ultimately the big thing. Right. And it's nice to win games as well, but to then be able to see the progress from a playing standpoint and to have that be in lockstep with the culture and the buy-in and who these guys are and championship standards on and off the field, to then be able for them to get the reward. It's one thing to be like, okay, this was all good and I'm happy with my experience and the culture's been great, but we also want to win. And to then have it come full circle to win and to have the type of year that we have has been great. And you mentioned 21, the championship that we lose, it would have been great to win that. Don't get me wrong, but we lost the 3 games going into that tournament. Before the tournament started, we weren't the best team in the conference. And this is very different, that we're the best team in the conference. And that feels really good. But I think it took that path, so.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it, because it's obviously a great Cinderella story when a team makes an improbable run and gets to that point. And it would have been equally celebrated, sure, but just from a competitive standpoint, when you tick off the box of a regular season championship, everybody's aiming for you. You know that you're not going to sneak up or surprise anybody, and to still find a way to seal the deal. Like, that's just professional right there. Like, I have to imagine there's a lot of pride in that, because we wanted to be here, we played to be here, and we are here. We are the team that everybody thought we were. That's nice. I would imagine.
That's exactly. I mean, look, in 21, if we had won, I would have been over the moon, right? But now when it comes full circle, like, this is where you want to be, is to be in command and in control of your destiny, and to win the regular season is harder to win than winning the conference tournament. That's hard. And where we're at RPI wise, right? I mean, we're a 31 RPI. Like, we were getting in anyway. Like, it's just all of it, and all of that to come together, and that to be the type of year that we've had, just it feels much better, but I think it took that kind of high and as well as that low to elevate us, right? You kind of have some ups and then some downs to humble you, and now we're back up there and want to just keep riding this wave.
Yeah, I think that's important to know too, what you said. Yeah, the conference tournament, the automatic qualifier, the championship, like, that is massive. But if it were not to follow that path, you would have been able to get into this tournament as an at-large. I always say with men's basketball, like, the Final Four happened. It's the peak moment. It will, in all likelihood, never be topped. But the bigger testament to where that men's basketball program went was that the very next year they got into the NCAA tournament as an at-large. You have done that with this program. To me, as someone who's been around forever, it's equally as shocking knowing where the men's soccer program came from, that especially in this era, you built a team that had been able to compile a resume that was going to get in regardless. Like, that's absolutely insane from where you came from in February 2017.
I mean, I can laugh about it now, but I'm telling you, those were some dark days. Boy. But it's a testament, and really then to go to the players, like, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a ton of hard work, persistence, belief. The confidence comes from your preparation, and you've got to like get back to what you're doing. And it's the same message that we tell our guys, and I've been living it. It's been 9 years. But I feel like the game rewards you, and for me, for the staff, and for the players to then be able to get this reward that they certainly have earned is really special.
You have really been dependent upon not only identifying talent, but identifying talent that comes from overseas, and really trying to hone in and unearth some ability that maybe is looked over. Not everybody has the same connections and same relationships. Everybody has different inroads within certain realms of recruiting this sport. The big names, the power names, they're going to be in on the Adidas and the Nike tournament winners and the U17 guys and all of that. You've sort of had to go a different direction. How have you been able to build that aspect of this thing up to what it's become?
Yeah, I think it's you're right on. It's been trying to find a niche. What is our niche? How can we find guys that are going to fit our system and buy into what we're asking them to do in our culture? And look, if I could recruit a team, all the team from the U18 national team, I would, right? I'd take all of the U.S. or all Florida kids. But the reality is, right, we are a mid-major, and we've got to find our niche. And we've been able to find that with some international kids. We've got a lot of Florida guys on the roster. They're internationals because their home country is Colombia, sure, or wherever, but they're born and raised in Florida. And so, yeah, we've just been able to look, and I think it takes a lot of hard work and knowing exactly what it is we're looking for. I think it's easy in recruiting to find, oh, that guy's really good, let's take him. And that's the best guy here, let's take him. And that's not necessarily the case for us. We're looking for the guys that are going to fit our system. And can I see them doing that? And I think whether that's been just internationals or a lot transfers, like I've seen something in them. Tom's been able to identify them, in key things that we want them to do. Maybe they weren't in a program that played that system or looking for those things. So it's been a lot of hard work, but I think we've been really successful to be able to have a clear vision of what we want and to make it very clear to the player, like this is what the expectation is when you get here for them to then be able to perform.
You've got UCF in the opening round. You came very close to hosting on Thursday in the opening round. You are going to go to Orlando. And so when you look at that team, and you have a number of common opponents from this season, so some of them within the conference as well. When do you start the dive here, preparation for UCF, and how do you like the matchup there in the opening round of the tournament?
Tom's already up in the office breaking them down, and I'll be up there to join him as soon as I get off the call. I think a little bit, man, at UCF, I think they went on a tear in their conference tournament. I think for them to win, I think they put them just right ahead of us and being able to host, which is a little bit frustrating because it would have been great to have the home game, and we were undefeated at home. So, but look, our mentality on the year has been like, good, okay, let's go do this. And UCF's a great team. I know the staff; they're great guys and well coached, and they're on a hot streak right now. But I'll put our team up against anybody, and the guys are excited, and so we'll dive into them right away. And I think some of the benefit is that we've got a pretty easy travel day, and we can still maximize what we can do on that day. And excited for another chance to be able to play them.
I did want to ask you, you spent 9 years as a pro, whether it's Pittsburgh Riverhounds or Richmond Kickers, Real Salt Lake, couple other teams involved in that pro career resume. This accomplishment, what you have done at Florida Atlantic, a regular season conference champion, a conference tournament champion, an NCAA tournament appearance, is this the proudest moment of your footballing career, or is it at least equal to something you accomplished in your pro career?
That's a good question. To be honest, I haven't thought about much.
There's different chapters to this whole thing.
There's different chapters. I think that is like the most important chapter is the one that we're writing. And I think I've been just very much into that. I mean, I'm proud of my playing career and really enjoyed that. And each of those had chapters. To make it as a pro was a chapter. And then I had a chance to win a championship in the USL. And then coaching was a new career, and then, new goals. And so this is a big one. And it's interesting in coaching on the playing side. I felt like I was always in control. I was the one that was going to produce the result, right? About how fit I was, how I performed. And in coaching, there's still a lot of accountability, but I've got to do it in a different way. Once the game's on, it's up to the guys. And that has been a challenge, but also really rewarding to see can I connect with these guys and get them to buy into what we're trying to do and believe in it and then execute it. And then if they execute it, is it good enough to win? And so that has been really rewarding. And it's been really exciting in this chapter. Honestly, for this, I don't see it. Playing was like, okay, I'm doing this. For this, I see it. It's them. It's the guys.
I just to be able to see this grow from what it was to what it's become and see excitement generated around it, and to all of a sudden this program be one of the champions of FAU athletics is awesome. And it's been a whole lot of fun to see grow and to see you be able to lead it. And then the talent you've brought in. Like I will say, this group of guys too, they've been able to puncture through the normal bubble of football, basketball, sprinkle in a couple other sports. Like Diarra is going to forever become a household name when we talk about championship level performance at FAU. Like that right there in and of itself, that's how I know, as someone who is very old with all of this, like Diarra is on the tip of everybody's tongues now. Like that to me is so fun. And how unlikely is that? And I feel like he's embraced the entire thing. All the players have, but he especially a Mali native who comes into Boca now, like this is home for him.
Yeah, it's so special, and he's embraced it. The kid, I mean, 2-time player of the year, steps up in big time. He's also the guy that carries all the equipment. He's got a smile on his face. He has no ego to him. He's the most humble, hardworking. Now we play in the game. He scores the goals. The next day is like the recovery day. He wants to go train again. He just can't get enough of it. He just lives and breathes it, and that's who he is. And so, man, when your best players are that mentality and that attitude and that character, I mean, he should be a household name. And it's awesome for him to get that because, right, we're not football, we're not basketball, but for him to be recognized, man, we're walking through the airport coming back, and people are stopping to take pictures. Like they know Mo. And others of the guys. It's really special, and I'm so happy for them to be able to experience that.
So Thursday, 7:00 in Orlando, FAU men's soccer and UCF in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Coach, it doesn't even do justice. Congratulations. Everyone is super proud. And like you said, the story, the path to this makes this even more enriching in the grand scheme of things. So go get them against the Knights, okay?
I really appreciate it, man. It's been really special. I think it's a bummer not to get the home game because the community, the university, athletics, the whole, it's just been in full support. And it's been really special to feel and to see, for the guys to experience. And so it's been a great year. And I appreciate, man, everything that you do for it and for the program, and being able to do this. It's special. So thank you.